Hello, my fantastic 400 students. Here's Dr. A with your week 5 rundown of assignments. Before I get into that, I want to remind you that as we're getting into this part of the semester, things are picking up steam, likely the same in a lot of your different classes. And I just want to remind you to take care of yourself. Things are still crazy in the world, and there's a lot of stress, and you're entering a professional program that is asking a lot of you and a profession that will ask a lot of you. And now is the time where it's important to establish those habits to take care of yourself. I still want you to work hard, but I also want you to be thinking about how to schedule some time into your week, each week, to do something that you're going to enjoy. I want to avoid anyone burning out this semester. I want you to make sure that you're remembering why you're doing this, but also taking care of yourself throughout. So this week we are going to jump into a little more of the curriculum side of schooling with learning objectives, and we're going to continue on our jigsaw from last week. With that in mind, I want to let you know there is going to be a slight delay in posting of some of the material, and the reason for that is I'm posting this video Friday, and some of you still haven't turned in your assignments from last week, your visually appealing handouts and your 5 really good multiple choice questions, because they're not due yet. They're not due until midnight, and right now I'm recording this Friday morning. So keep in mind that once all of those are collected, I'm going to sit down Saturday morning, maybe Sunday, and put together all of those handouts, all of those multiple choice questions into your quizzes, and then I'll post those hopefully by Monday at noon. In the meantime, there's still things that you can work on if you're one of those go-getters who wants to get things done this weekend. I applaud that. I encourage you to continue on with the module stuff that is posted, but just know you have to come back and get the rest of it done after it's posted. So a couple of things. Last week I asked you to watch a short YouTube video on Bloom's taxonomy, a nice review. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm eager for those office hours, virtual office hours visitors, or scheduling those by appointment to talk about education stuff. So last week we talked about Bloom's taxonomy, and Bloom's is this great resource, and we're going to refer to it a lot. But it's important to know that there are a lot of other alternatives to Bloom's out there, and sometimes we get so stuck on Bloom's that we put blinders on and we're not aware of other things. So I recorded a very rough short lecture on some of the alternatives to Bloom's. You've got Solo, you've got Cognitive Rigor Matrix, you've got Depth of Knowledge, you've got Taxonomy by Marzano, and a couple others. So I just want to introduce you to some things. I'm not expecting you to memorize all this information, but as an educator, you need to be aware of other things besides Bloom's. So there's a short video in there. It's not great, but there's some PowerPoints and me talking about them. So buckle up and just power through that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into learning objectives, which is kind of our start to where we're going to be diving into lesson planning and a little bit of exploration this semester. So I created a handout on how to write learning objectives. It's really quick and easy. It's just like 2 pages, a couple of steps, super organized. That I want you to go through and read and practice, or to kind of internalize some of that. And then I also created a quick practice on that, where you're going to look at some learning objectives I've created, you're going to analyze them, then you're going to take some really bad learning objectives and improve them, and then you're going to write a couple of your own learning objectives. So that document you're going to download, you're going to type right into it, you're going to save it and upload it back to Blackboard by next Friday at 11:59 p.m. per usual. So that's the learning objective side and the video that I want you to watch. This next part is for your jigsaw. So last week each of you did a little divide and conquer, where one person from each numbered group worked on a different chapter out of things every middle school teacher should know. So we have like the physical development side, and the social, and the emotional, and the cognitive. So we broke all that up. Now this week is where we put the puzzle all back together. You're going to be relying on your classmates to teach you about this information. So you're going to take some time, and you're going to read the handouts that each member of your group created. And then you're going to watch their short 2 to 3 minute YouTube video that was linked on a tiny URL to watch their video, get a little more information. After you've done all of those, you're going to go into Blackboard, and I'm creating individual quizzes for each groups. For each group that is made up of the questions that you created. So if there's 4 people in your group, then there were 20 questions created. I'm going to put those all together in a quiz, and there'll be multiple quizzes on there. So just make sure you pick the one that aligns with your group number, because that will be the questions created by your group based on their handouts and videos. So you are welcome to take other ones, but I will be looking for your score on that one 20-point multiple choice question. 5 of those questions should be yours. So, hey, free points, hopefully. I would expect that you'd get those correct. So you're going to take some time, you're going to look at those handouts, you're going to watch those videos, and then you're going to take that quiz and get that submitted. After you've done all that, it's time to do some reflecting. This week I want you to reflect on all of these developmental aspects of young adolescents. We're talking about them in terms of individuals in this age range. But what I want you to do is to connect those developmental steps and stages and ideas and translate and connect and associate them with middle schools. So if an individual is going through a certain physical development or a social development or an emotional development, I want you to be thinking about how are good middle school students, or how are good middle schools designed and structured to be responsive to those needs? In what ways do you see middle schools falling short? Think about this we believe and those different elements that AMLE comes up with. How do those connect to the things that you've read about and heard from your classmates? I've got a couple of prompts posted on Blackboard that you can dive into.